What's up, everyone? Back playing some Vintage Cube today in the new year, the 2022 Vintage Cube. I think it's up for about 7 more days, so I'll be doing a few drafts. I've been playing a lot of monocolor decks so far, so we'll see how this draft goes. There's not a great pick for a monocolor deck here, maybe Fyndhorn Elves for green. There's two blue fetches, which are pretty good. I haven't been drafting those decks that much, though, honestly. This is a pretty weak pack, so yeah, I think I will take one of the lands. I think Flooded Strand might be a little bit better. I do like blue-green a lot, but I think that's usually the only green deck that I splash in, so I'll take Flooded Strand, because maybe I'll play a white-black deck or something like that. So now I like Cradle and Mana Vault and Miscalculation. I've been not doing great with blue decks this season. I think the reactive decks are just getting weaker and weaker as they print new cards and put them into this cube. So I've been trying to play more proactive decks. But I do still not I don't mind Miscalculation. It's easy to cast. It would go along with my Flooded Strand, but I think Mana Vault might be a little bit better, and it keeps me open, so I'm going to take that. So now there's not much in blue, but there's Deceiver Exarch, and we just passed Pestermite. I think it would be a little early for me to try to go into blue-red for the Splinter Twin combo. This is another pretty weak pack, though, and I'm not seeing any clear signal. So I think I will just go with the Exarch. It goes with my land. There's not really any card that goes great with Mana Vault in this pack. Maybe like Scarab God, but I don't want to take Scarab God so early. So still nothing that's pulling me into any archetype in this pack. There's a Tundra, and that will go with my land. And I kind of like Mana Vault in the blue-white decks too, because you can get like the 6-mana Elspeth, or Sun Titan can be decent in those decks too. So yeah, Mana Vault's okay in those decks. I think Tundra is probably just the best pick here. Blue does not look particularly open, but nothing else is like looks super open. There's no super strong cards in this pack. I think green looks kind of open because Arbor Elf is a strong green card. The artifact deck looks open too, which is kind of normal. I don't really think that deck is tier 1. I think it's pretty weak, actually. There's a Signet and Thran Dynamo in this pack. There's really nothing for blue-white here. There's Portent, which is okay. It's bad in combo. It's like the one cantrip that I'd never want in my combo decks. So I might have to switch here. I could just go into green. That seems like, if I want to have a winning strategy, I think that's probably the best idea. And Mana Vault is, of course, is going to be good in green. So yeah, now there's Tree Speaker, which is probably the most powerful card in this pack. And not a single blue card, so yeah, that's pretty common for Vintage Cube. Blue just gets cut. Everyone in combo is going to play blue. Reanimator wants to play blue sometimes. And then there's like a possibility of a bunch of different blue control decks. So, but that's okay. I'm just going to stick with green. It looks like red's open too. Koth is okay. Magda is also okay. Okay, I guess white is open too, because this is 7th pick Swords to Plowshares and Shelldock Isle. I think I used to pick Shelldock really highly, and now I just think it's a little bit too slow. I think it's still in the Legacy Cube. It's probably a lot better there, but Vintage Cube just goes so fast. Like, I find that you just don't need the extra card advantage late in the game with Shelldock. I don't love the card unless you just have a deck that specifically can take advantage of it. So I'm just going to stick with green, though. I'm not going to go into white. Hex Drinker is solid. It's really good against the blue decks because you can resolve it on turn 1 and then just force them to have removal, which a lot of times they won't. I really like Hullbreaker Horror. That card's so fun to play in Storm or even in control decks. I think it can be okay. Skyclave Apparition, another really good white card, but yeah, I can just keep staying in green and just take Oracle. I like Hullbreaker Horror in green-blue too. But ideally, when you're green, you just want to be mono green. Unless you get a really good reason. And so this is the pack I opened, and in Fyndhorn Elves, I thought it was one of the stronger cards in the pack, and it's still here, so that's amazing. I might be the only green drafter, which would be kind of crazy. I cannot do much with these cards. Maybe I'll just take Wake. Eureka is like a sideboard card against mono red. Okay, I'll take Ravages of War. I have the Flooded Strand. Maybe I could splash this. Okay, now there's Temple Garden, which would actually be good with the Ravages of War. But I also like Tovolar's Huntmaster. So this is kind of, this is pretty interesting actually. I'm gonna try to take the Temple Garden. I haven't really played this mono green splash Ravages of War very often, but I have a feeling like it's gonna be good. Like against the combo decks, with green you just have to race them because you can't interact, but now even if I have to sideboard this Ravages, it's gonna be really good against the combo decks. And I think the combo decks are quite good in the cube right now. Okay, awesome. We opened Black Lotus. So we have some really fast mana with this deck. And green looks super open. I tabled everything, so yeah, we're in a good position. I'm not going to try to really splash anything. Besides this Ravages of War, you really get paid off a lot by going mono green, just by always being able to play your 1-drops, and a lot of cards have high green cost requirements, like Craterhoof Behemoth. It's like triple green, so you run into problems with that. So I think Primeval Titan is better than Whisperwood Elemental. I did not table the Gaia's Cradle from the first pack, so that's kind of interesting. Maybe a mono white player took it or something like that. So from this one, pretty easy. Noble Hierarch, it can help me splash Ravages of War. I can have a blue splash too, actually. No, I don't really have the lands for a blue splash. I have Flooded Strand, but I need to pick up Tropical Island. But this deck usually wants to splash blue for like Oko, if it wants to splash anything. So now I have another white fetch land. Or I have Magus of the Order, which is okay. Oh, there's also Ulamog, the Ceaseless Hunger, which I do like. I don't think I need this white land. I already have a lot of white mana. I'm going to try the Ulamog. If I get Channel, it's good. If I get the 5-mana Nissa Planeswalker, you can start to cast 10 drops. You don't always want 10 drops in this deck. Really, like, the basic strategy of this deck is, like, just get as many 1-drop creatures and then get Craterhoof Behemoth. That's really the best way to play this deck, but sometimes you can get a ton of mana, even 10 or 12 or 15 for Emrakul, and then these Eldrazi become good. So this is kind of an interesting spot because I can take Uro here, but I really don't like Uro in the mono green decks. I like it more in an actual blue-green deck, like not where you're just splashing Uro, because then you can have like cantrips and counter spells that will go to your graveyard and you could actually escape it. In mono green, it's really hard to get cards into your graveyard, actually. I'm just going to keep taking the 1-drops. I do kind of need some top end, so I would like Woodfall Primus, but I think there was a Terastodon in like the second pack that I could table. And so here's the channel that I just mentioned. I'm definitely going to take that. And so, yeah, this is one of the... So now we're going to be in a bit of a different green archetype because we have the channel. So we're going to want stuff like Ulamog and Karn, which we did pass Karn and we probably will not get it back. So there's a few good cards here. Even Memory Jar is good. It's pretty good with channel. I think Garruk is better than this Druid just because Garruk is a win condition, basically. just using the -4 to overrun with all of your 1-drops, I've won plenty of games with that. So now there's Biogenic Ooze and Tireless Tracker. I think Tireless Tracker is better. I don't love 5-drops in the mono green deck. I think it's kind of like the weakest slot in the whole curve. Like, it's kind of just in that medium 4 to 5 area. I like to really focus on the 1-drops and like the 6, 7, 8-drops. And I think Biogenic Ooze is replaceable. I can take Whisperwood Elemental if it tables. Even though I think Ooze is a little bit better usually. So here's another 5-drop Acidic Slime, which I actually like because it's good against the combo decks. You just want to be... Basically, it's just one of the only ways you can disrupt the combo decks is destroying their lands when you're playing mono green. So this is a pretty easy pick. None of these other cards do anything. There's the Whisperwood Elemental that I mentioned, and Stonecoil Serpent with Channel is kind of decent. Wonder which one's better. I'll try out the Serpent. I might undervalue that card a little bit. It can fit anywhere on your curve too, so I'll try it out. I don't really like playing artifacts like Worn Power Stone in these decks. Maybe it's good with Ulamog though. I don't know. I don't think I need the land, so I'm not going to take it. Knight of the Reliquary, I don't usually play. If you have Strip Mine, maybe it's fine, but otherwise I think it's just slow. So I'll just take the Magus, which is also slow, but at least it has a really powerful effect. Okay, now I did table the Woodfall Primus, so that's good. Now I have like a natural order target. And we tabled this Circle of Dreams Druid. Okay, that's another reason to take Garruk over it. Because no one can really pay this cost triple green. I'm the only player at the table that can pay that cost. Okay, so we opened Fast Bond. This is actually like one of my favorite cards in the whole cube right now. And it's at its best in blue-green because you can get Time Twister, which is just an amazing combo. I think I already passed Wheel of Fortune too, which is another good combo, but there's actually not much in this pack for me. I like Relic of Progenitus too, just because it's a great sideboard card against Reanimator. But yeah, I'm going to take Fast Bond. And Fast Bond is also really good with Tireless Tracker and Oracle of Moldiah. It's not as good with Oracle as it is with Courser of Kruphix. And the new card that they just printed that does the same effect. But yeah, this is basically the combo you're trying to get. Fast Bond plus a card that lets you play lands off the top of your library, and then you can just play every single land from your library, and you can always draw a spell on your draw step. And now looking at this pack, Karakas is awesome. I would definitely play it. There is Sylvan Library, which is also a combo with Oracle of Moldiah. And I really just like Sylvan Library. It really helps this deck against the control decks because it's one of the few ways to get card advantage. That's also why I like Tireless Tracker. So yeah, I'm going to pass the Karakas, even though it's great. So now I can take Arid Mesa to get my Temple Garden. I don't really value Nature's Claim. This green deck, it just wants to be proactive. It does not want to be reactive. I've almost never found myself wanting to sideboard in Artifact Destruction. There's also Avacyn's Pilgrim, which is a 1-drop, and it makes white for the Ravages of War. So that's actually kind of interesting. At this point, I have so many 1-drops that it's like I kind of don't need any more, actually. But I actually don't even want to have 2 white fetches. That's the thing. So I do actually wish I had the green fetch now, because I actually don't even want to play a basic plains in this deck. And so if I were to draw both of my white fetches, one of them would be dead. So kind of awkward. Okay, so here's Ugin, which really goes well with Channel. Usually I don't play Ugin in my mono green decks just because the -X is just not going to work. Like, the green deck plays to the board more than any other deck in the whole format, so you're just not going to get value off of -Xing it. But, I mean, if I can just cast turn 1 Ugin off of Black Lotus Channel, or, yeah. I actually am in need of top end, so I think I'm still going to take it here. I like Plowender too. It's another like anti-combo deck. Sorry, anti-combo card. So that's, I will definitely table one of those green cards. Urza's Saga, we can't really use it. I don't really have artifacts to combo with it. Well, it can search out my Black Lotus or Mana Vault, which is decent. Wonder if that's, like, the constructs aren't going to be great, but it can search out Black Lotus. It's kind of cool. Maybe I'll just try that. Like I said, I don't really need this Elvish Mystic. I might even have to cut one of these 1-drops. I don't have Craterhoof, which is kind of important to note. Nissa's okay, so I'll just try out this Urza Saga. Here's another Armageddon. Could just go all in on that. The other options here are not doing much. Sensei's Top is kind of good with the Oracle Fastbond combo, but I don't want to overdo that. I already have Sylvan Library, which does a very similar thing. Okay, so here's Courser, which is really good with Fastbond, and Sylvan Library, kind of same thing. Oh, there's also Emrakul, so that's kind of interesting. I don't know if I need more top end, or do I need more? I also like Garruk Relentless. It gives you creature removal, which you really don't have access to in green. And then it even, once you flip it, you can search for your Craterhoof Behemoth. So I actually think this card's really good. This is kind of interesting. I think I want to take the Courser. It's really good with like my Armageddon strategy. But yeah, I could see taking any of those 3 cards I mentioned. Kogla, this card, I have sideboarded it in sometimes. It's basically, it's not good against combo, it's not good against control, but if you're playing against like mono white or something, and it can come into play and fight a big creature, then it's really good. So I tabled the Relic and the Excavator. I cannot really use Excavator, so I'll just put the Relic in the sideboard. Now here's another green-white land, which would be okay. Or I can take Coercive Portal, which is just another decent card. It's good with the Armageddon Ravages of War sort of strategy. I feel like I might not need that. So I'll take the land. Now I can take another land. Or I can take Oust. But yeah, this... I don't really like to splash removal in this deck. This deck is just all about going over the top of the opponent and not about removing one thing at a time. Now, I don't really like Cultivate. Kitchen Finks is okay. It would be a good sideboard card against mono red. But I'm more concerned about the combo decks. I think this deck's already pretty good against mono red. Actually, I'm not sure if that's true. I'm kind of missing a lot of the cards that are really good against mono red. Like Thragtusk or just something that makes a bunch of creatures. I'm kind of missing that part of this deck, but that's okay. So we have to make some cuts here. I think I'm not going to cut any of this top end. I think I will cut Magus of the Order. It's basically like just a really slow way to get Woodfall Primus. Let's see, maybe I'll cut that. I think I can cut one of the Armageddons. You never want to draw 2, obviously. So yeah, we do need to make some cuts. I think maybe the Worn Power Stone. The Power Stone is actually, I think I need to keep Worn Power Stone. Usually you want all the creature accelerants because you're trying to Craterhoof, but this deck is actually trying to get to 8 or 10. It doesn't need creatures in play, so I'm going to value getting 2 mana off of 1 card. So I will need to cut like maybe Ignoble Hierarch. Or maybe Arbor Elf, because it doesn't work when I have 0 lands in play. So maybe I'll cut that one. Now I have 26 cards here. Can also sideboard the Acidic Slime. Not sure what to cut. I think I could cut like Magus, Slime, Nissa. Which one? Maybe just Magus. I haven't played with it much. It's probably better if I have better targets. I really only have the Woodfall Primus. So once I have the Primus in hand and the Magus in hand, that's like kind of bad. So maybe I'll just cut that one. Now I can play 15 lands, which seems okay. So I think this deck turned out okay. It's missing the Craterhoof, like I mentioned before, and that's kind of a big deal. So maybe this is like 7 out of a 10 mono green deck, or maybe an 8. My opponent is playing 60 cards, so that's kind of interesting. I thought he was going to be playing Yorion, but it doesn't look like he's revealed it. This hand's pretty awkward. It has 3 of my channel targets and no 1-drops, so it feels, I'm on the draw also. It feels like it's a mulligan. Now this hand, I mean, it has no lands, pretty easy mulligan. And this hand looks fine. So Flooded Strand is a dead card in this hand. So I'm going to put the plains on the bottom, and then I'll fetch it out. And then I need to put something else away, which is kind of awkward, because I want all these cards. I need to keep the 3 lands for sure, and I need to keep the Primeval Titan. So I'm going to get rid of the Nissa, even though it's like a guaranteed 2-for-1. Courser could do even better than that, so. And it's not even that bad to like mulligan to 5 when you have cards like Courser of Kruphix. So I'll play the Courser before my land. There's Tireless Tracker on top. I think I could draw that. Seems okay. It seems pretty good even. I have Flooded Strand, so that gives me 2 landfall triggers. I'm not sure what my opponent's playing. Skull Clamp, Coalition Relic, maybe white-red with some Planeswalkers. I think they took the Wildfires out of the cube. I haven't seen those. It's kind of interesting. Okay, Acidic Slime on top, which would be okay, but so I can choose to draw it if I really want to. I would like to draw a land. Well, there could still be a land underneath it. My Primeval Titan. I don't feel like desperate to draw an Acidic Slime. It's kind of interesting. You do want to leave a non-land on top of your library when you have Courser of Kruphix, because if I shuffle and then there's a land on top, it's kind of like a dead land. because I want the land to be the second card that I draw, not the first. Okay, well that's gonna make me just use my fetch land because this is gonna get me a clue. So either way, I'm gonna get my extra card. Dig through time. Okay. Maybe my opponent's playing Splinter Twin combo. Because they're playing blue now, I see. So sometimes that deck will play Kiki Jiki and Resto Angel in white. So maybe that's going on, or it might just be Jeskai control. Okay. Channel on top. I don't really want to draw channel because I have 6 mana right now. Now I'll cast Primeval Titan and I'll go up to 8. So I don't really need any more mana. So that channel is a pretty dead card. So let's shuffle. And I can get Urza's Saga. That's kind of cool. Now I'm drawing Garruk, which is not bad. And I have the Urza's Saga plus Clue token combo. That's kind of interesting. So maybe I'll leave this Clue around if I don't really need to draw a card. So hopefully they don't have like a big Eldrazi or a control magic would be good against my Primeval Titan. Otherwise, they might not have a ton of ways to deal with it. Maybe they have Swords to Plowshares. Oh, they're playing Balance. Okay. 6 lands. So I have to lose 1 land. So yeah, they're getting me pretty good here. They are going to have to discard 1 card, but I'm losing 3 really good creatures. Well, 2 really good creatures. But yeah, now I see why they have these artifacts in their deck for the balance. Let's see if they have a good card to follow it up with. Oh, wow, they're playing a combo deck. Okay, well, we both have 7 cards in our hand. Okay, and I drew my Flooded Strand, which has no more targets left to get. There's a Saga. We might not be able to use that. Let's see. So I actually cannot cast Ugin this turn. So the Fast Bond is not doing that much. I still might want to get it into play because they can flashback Echo of Aeons, so I'm going to need to keep that in mind. So I'll play the land, and I'll play out Flooded Strand because I don't want to draw it again if they do Echo of Aeons. So now it's like they have tons of removal for Hexdrinker, so I will need to level it up if I want it to survive. There's nothing I can do to get Ugin in play. This costs 4, this costs 3. So I can put Hexdrinker, Circle of Dreams Druid into play. Or I can just make a 7 mana Stonecoil Serpent. But yeah, this seems better, I would say. I could give Hexdrinker protection from everything. No, that has to go to 8. No, I'm not going to get that. They do not have the option to do that. Okay, so not the best turn, but we'll see what my opponent can do with their 7 new cards. They've got to have some sort of combo going on. They do have access to the balance again, so got to keep that in mind. Firebolt plus Flashback Firebolt, that's one way to kill the Hexdrinker. Okay, and then they have Young Pyromancer plus Skull Clamp. That's actually one of the nice ways to use Skull Clamp in this cube, which there's really not very many. But I'm gonna get to use Ugin here. Let me think for a second. If I use this, is 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, and then I have 3, 4, 5, 6. I think it's fine to do this. I don't think it costs me that much. I get 1 mana back right away from the Dream Druid. Yeah, I think this is fine. I'll just get the Mana Vault, I guess. Yeah, I'm glad that I did that. Okay. Now I'm not sure, can I use Garruk here? Cast Garruk, then I'll have 1 mana, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. I can cast Garruk plus 2, then Ugin. So yeah, this seems good. I get my Planeswalkers out. The Planeswalkers are really good against balance. And now I can take out this Pyromancer, which is really good with that Skull Clamp. This is a pretty wild game. I have not played against a deck like this. Okay, Avalanche Riders to kill the Stirring Wildwood. That is definitely fine. Balance plus Echo of Aeons. That's kind of a cool combo, because you can discard the Echo of Aeons. Never seen that before. Okay, Phyrexian Revoker to call Ugin. That's pretty good. Now I wish I had my Acidic Slime to take out the Revoker. Bomat Courier. So yeah, I assume my opponent's deck's going to have some awkward cards in it because they're playing 60 cards. I can also draw Woodfall Primus, will also deal with the Phyrexian Revoker. Okay, there's Channel. I can make a really big Stonecoil Serpent. I don't even think that seems great. I can already make it 10-10. I think that's good enough. I don't want to try to make it like lethal in 1 turn by paying a bunch of life. My opponent could have some more burn spells. I could attack, but they could just chump with Avalanche Riders, so it doesn't seem very good. Okay, and I still have this clue. I need to remember that. I'll probably want to use that next turn. It's going to make my construct smaller, but it's probably worth it. I mean, I technically have lethal with this Garruk overrun next turn, but we'll see if that changes. I mean, they could easily have some removal. But so far, this Jace isn't going to do anything. If they really need to, they can cast Echo of Aeons, though. They're not just going to leave themselves dead on board, I assume. Okay, they hardcast Shark Typhoon, and then Unholy Heat, 2 damage to Garruk. Okay, so they're taking me off of Overrun mana. Wow. Interesting. I feel like this damage doesn't matter that much. Okay, I drew Sylvan Library, so that's good if the game continues to go long. I guess I'm going to start by attacking. Yeah, they do get to draw 2 cards here, so... Now I'm going to use the clue. Okay, there's the Woodfall Primus. And I can cast it. I have to plus the Garruk, which is fine. Although I could use the channel. I probably want to just use the channel, because, like, the channel's not going to really get very much better. So let's use the channel. Yeah, plus on Garruk seems better to force them to deal with the overrun again. So yeah, the reason I cast Channel was so that I could also cast Sylvan Library. And now this is going to destroy... Okay, never. Okay, I thought that this could destroy the Revoker, but of course this is not any artifact. It's just non-creature permanent. So that makes my decision easy. I just have to kill the Shark Typhoon. Yeah, I'm not really worried about getting rid of the Skull Clamp, even though it has drawn them a good amount of cards this game, but Skull Clamp just doesn't seem to usually work out in Cube. Just trading away your board presence for cards, it's kind of hard to profit off of that. But we'll see that. I mean, they could find the balance again, and then... Although Woodfall Primus is really good against that, and I have these 2 Planeswalkers, so yeah, that's going to be pretty tough. They might have some sort of combo in their deck. Mind's Desire or Brain Freeze. Something like that. It's pretty cool that they're playing Skullclamp with 60 cards, too. That makes a lot of sense. That's the other problem with Skullclamp, is that you just kill off all your material and then you just run out of cards. So, pretty interesting. And they have Gush. Wow. Yeah, they might be comboing. Well, they let the Phyrexian Revoker die, so I think they're really going for something here. Now my Ugin is unlocked, so might just be trying to win the game here. Okay, Electromancer. Yeah, I guess it's pretty clear that this is a Storm deck. Fire Blast. Yeah, maybe it's a 1,000-Year Storm deck. Yeah, maybe I should have paid a bunch of life for the Stonecoil Serpent. Tried to kill them on the previous turn. Okay, my opponent is using the Echo of Aeons. They've still got 4 mana. I think they probably played a land already for the turn. They're at storm count of 6, so Brain Freeze would win the game. No, wow, they weren't able to do it. Okay. They had so many cards, I thought for sure I was dead. Okay, so we did prepare for this in the draft portion. I drafted some anti-combo cards. Even Knight of Autumn would be okay here because they have plenty of artifacts. So Kogla is also okay because they have a few creatures and Kogla is hard to remove for a Jeskai deck. So yeah, these cards all look decent. Now let's see what I would want to take out. Ugin seems kind of weak because they have a lot of colorless permanents, but it's still just one of the best cards with channel, so I think it's going to be hard to take Ugin out. It's kind of hard to cut cards. I think Hex Drinker is weak against them because they have a bunch of instants and sorcery removal spells, and then they also have balance. So that means even if I put the whole investment to give it protection, they can always just balance it. So it's just not going to be that effective. I also might just want the second Armageddon. Armageddon is going to be really good. If I can just get a board presence and then Armageddon. Although that strategy is not great against Skullclamp. If they're able to just get a bunch of extra cards with Skullclamp. So I think I might just still stick with the 1 and then go with Plow Under. Maybe that's a good hedge. And then, do I want this Knight of Autumn? Kind of does everything I want. I think it's like too good. I think I should play it. I think Stonecoil might be a little bit weak. So yeah, what do I want? Do I want Knight of Autumn or do I want Kogla? I think I want to go with Kogla. So, and I actually just don't think I have something to use with Knight of Autumn. Something to sideboard out. Maybe Nissa. Nissa is the more proactive card. I'm going to stick with... I don't want to get too reactive, kind of like I mentioned before. If I had a weaker card in my deck, I would like to play that Knight of Autumn. This hand looks fine. It can cast Ugin pretty quickly. Yeah, not a huge chance that the Tree Speaker survives, but that's okay. Okay, there's the Bomat Courier. And the Skullclamp. Okay, so we are going to have to play another Skullclamp game. Let's see. So if I put down the Power Stone, yeah, it still does not let me cast Ugin next turn. Okay, so that's Slime, which I'm going to draw the Slime. It looks really good here. And I think it's going to make sense to destroy the Skull Clamp. Doesn't make a ton of sense to just start attacking their lands when they can just draw into more lands with the Skull Clamp. Okay, so they can destroy my land, but that's okay. I still have 5 mana next turn. Now there's Mana Vault on the top of my library. I guess I'll just wait and I'll just leave it there. I don't have to decide if I want to use it yet. So I can attack with a 3/3 Oracle. But I'm just not even going to. I don't want to let them trade their Bowmount Courier for it, basically. I want to force them to spend 5 mana on this Firebolt if they want to get the Oracle off the battlefield. Mana Vault lets me cast Ugin next turn, so... Actually, let me think. Yeah, it does, because I have 6 mana right now. And Mana Vault gives you a net of 2. So let's see what they do. Let's see if they destroy my Hierarch or something like that, or then we can decide. So they have 2 cards left. They are going to just use the Firebolt. Okay. That's fine. I think I'm not going to shuffle. Just casting Ugin is going to be pretty amazing. Ooh, wow. Okay. They did have days. That was a really good days. Okay, so we could watch out for that in the future. Now we really don't have a lot of action going on, so... Yeah, now we are not in a great spot. Just considering their Bowmat is actually looking pretty good. They are going to get 1 Ragavan hit. Let's see what they take from my library. Fast Bond. Okay, that will actually be good with their draw 7. But it's not really doing anything right now. If they can hit their draw 7, it's going to be good. Wow, they did not cast the Fast Bond. That's kind of surprising. Maybe they have a counter spell, I'm not sure. Would they want to keep up 4 mana for some reason? Or did they just not think the Fast Bond would do anything in this game? I don't know. I'll leave back my blocker. So yeah, we're just going to have to draw into some of our top end. Which, yeah, our deck is actually a little bit light on that, so... Might want to put 1 more top end card in after sideboarding. Okay, they are going to attack with both. I guess they're probably going to use Bowmat Courier this turn, but I'm just going to block like this. I don't mind losing the Circle of Dreams Druid. It's not really going to stop me from... It takes me off of 10 mana next turn. I can just untap my Mana Vault. Then I'll have 10 on the following turn, so... It's not going to hurt me that much. Okay, they have Shark Typhoon. So I think this is a good turn to untap Primeval Titan. Okay, so now I'm going to have to immediately tap it again, but that's fine. Now I can get the Urza Saga and the Stirring Wildwood. And attack, and yeah, not much I can do. We'll see if they have a good last card or a good draw step here. Shark Typhoon can definitely be good against me. So next turn I have exactly 10 mana, so Ulamog will be a good draw. Although, what are they doing here? Okay, so now I'm going to have 9 mana. So yeah, now I can safely untap my Mana Vault. Because even if I draw Ulamog, I cannot cast it. There's not really much else I'm going to do. Untap. There's Channel, so that's not going to do much. Yeah, now I get to make a 3/3, which is decent. Yeah, not really much to do here. I'm just going to attack. Take 2 lands out. Can use my Urza Saga. Okay, so yeah, he's going to trade, which is fine. Not much I can do about that. I'm happy to get 2 more lands out of my deck. Yeah, now we'll see if my Stirring Wildwood gets unlocked. It couldn't really attack on that turn. Maybe it could have if I wanted to get really aggressive. I don't know if that was necessary. Pyro, okay, that's pretty good against my non-tramplers. I don't have any more tramplers left. Okay, well, they're not getting shark tokens, so it is good to see these 2 little creatures. Gush, okay, that's pretty good. They are getting kind of low on mana, though, now. They have a tapped Mana Vault. Yeah, I don't really have good attacks now. Although my artifacts are going to be 5/5, so that's pretty good. Let's create a 3/3. Now we'll make them both 4/4s. Now I can get the Black Lotus. I drew a forest, so that's no good. So I don't really have a play here. Pretty much just keep attacking. And do I even hit with the slime? I think I do. I don't think there's much reason to leave it back. I assume they're going to start chumping the construct, and no, they are going to trade with the shark. Okay, that's fine again. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be able to play a real match here. My opponent's only got 3 minutes left on their clock. 3.5 minutes, so they're going to have to win this game and a third game. They want to win the match. So, I mean, they could win this game. They are attacking. Lightning Helix, they're going to take out my creature land. Okay. They have 2 burn spells. Okay. They're getting a lot of tokens. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty dead this game unless I draw. There's a few good draws in my deck. And I mean, I do only have 16 cards left, so let's see. Tireless Tracker. Okay, I probably should have kept that forest in my hand. I played it because I wanted it to be in play for balance, but I'm not even sure if that made sense. So yeah, definitely should have been keeping Lance in hand for this Tireless Tracker. Now they can hit with Colonnade, so now I'm just on a 2-turn clock here. I don't really have a way to win. I draw Ulamog. Ulamog probably is still good here. Let's see. Hierarch. And I'm just going to die when they attack me back. Wow. Okay, good game. Let's go to game 3. Did feel like I was a little bit weak on top end, so I think I kind of want this Stonecoil Serpent. And then I could take out Nissa. Nissa's kind of just, I think it's my weakest card. My opponent has so many lightning bolts in their deck that Nissa's not going to do that much. I guess it's good to make them lightning bolt the Nissa, but still. This hand is all top end, no ramp, so I'm going to have to mulligan. This hand has the same problem. It just doesn't have any mana. Okay, now we're left with kind of like the first game on that mulligan to 5. This is a pretty strong hand because of the Courser that's going to be able to get us some card advantage. So yeah, I'm going to have to get rid of those 2 cards. Okay, yeah, getting down Sylvan here seems good. Now I can set up Courser. Magda and Courser can block this pretty well. So let's see if I can find a land. Yes. 4 life on top. Now you'll get to see how good this combo is. Now, yeah, I'm kind of just going off. Now I can Plow Under next turn. That's going to be insane. I don't want to pay too much life. Okay, this is interesting. This might look like a balance is coming. Oh, why would they attack like this? Yeah, I'm just going to take the damage. Avalanche Riders. Pretty interesting. I don't know why they attacked like that. I thought it meant that they had balance. Okay, they're just going to scoop. Well, I was feeling pretty good that game, but yeah, they just didn't have enough time. So let's go to round 2. So that was a very long and weird match, but let's see if we can get some classic mono green action here and just play some fast games. This hand needs some action, but okay, there's some action. So this is interesting. Can either play an elf or a mana vault. I guess it just has to be mana vault. If I hit a land next turn, it's gonna be insane. I can just Primeval Titan. We'll see if they leave up counter spell magic. No, Signet. Okay. Okay, we got the land. I will use the ability and definitely get Stirring Wildwood. I'm not sure if I want to get Urza's Saga. It'll fetch me out Black Lotus. Kind of interesting. I think it just has to be good. Yeah, just for the extra creatures. My opponent might be playing they're either playing Grixis Control or Grixis Combo, I'm guessing. So against Control, the Saga is going to be good. Okay, they're playing Combo. Sneak Attack Grave Titan. Okay, that's okay. Not unbeatable. I guess they're playing Reanimator slash Sneak Attack, so I should expect like Corpse Dance and Eldrazi's. So the question here is like, do I want to attack with the Primeval Titan? And it's kind of interesting. They can just take it and then just attack me and just like kill me. So I think I'm going to chill for one turn. But I also think I'm going to do this just to make it so that if they do end up drawing those Eldrazi's, I don't think they have any in their hand because they used Grave Titan. I'm guessing that's not their best sneak attack creature. But yeah, I'm still going to take out the sneak attack. Could have taken out the mountain, but that's just risky. I'd rather just make the safer play. Okay, they returned Grave Titan to their hand, so that's going to be pretty good. Okay, drew Ravages of War. That is not bad at all. Okay, so now I can Ravages of War and then attack, so that seems kind of good. And they're going to scoop to that. Okay, nice. I'm glad we got to use the Ravages. Because I mean, this deck is kind of not standard mono green deck, but okay, that was a pretty nice game. So yeah, we did kind of prepare for the combo matchups. This is, I'm guessing they're playing Reanimator. I'm going to bring in the Relic just in case. It's kind of not even that bad with Urza Saga, so I'm just going to bring it in. And I'll just take out, like, I think Hexdrinker might not be great in the matchup. I don't think my sideboard cards are great, like Plow Under. This is not, Plow Under's not good against Reanimator. I'm not sure if they're doing that. They might even be like Storm Sneak Attack, in which case Plow Under would be good, but I think I just need more information. I just need to take out like one card for this Relic. I think I'll just take out Nissa again. And then yeah, I'm just not confident that I want other cards. This hand looks fine. It's not amazing. It's actually pretty good. Turn 2 Circle of Dreams Druid, and then I have Slime, which can take out the sneak attack if I get to survive to do that. And then it has Hexdrinker. I'm not sure how good Hexdrinker is going to be in the matchup. It looks like my opponent mulliganed. Pretty interesting. Black Lotus. I can Black Lotus out the Slime. I don't even... Yeah, I think I just want to wait on the Black Lotus. I could Black Lotus to give protection from instants. I don't think that's worth it. I'm going to see if I can draw Primeval Titan or my 8-drop or... Okay, so now next turn, Sneak Attack is going to come into play and they'll be able to activate it. And there's not much I can do to stop that. So I'm just, if they have that, like, they're just going to have it. I'm not going to try to destroy a land and, like, set them back one turn. I would rather do this. Now I can get Urza's Saga and the Stirring Wildwood. Now Urza's Saga can get me my Relic of Progenitus, and, you know, we'll see if they're actually playing Reanimator stuff. Okay, they have Scarab God. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of Reanimator. Okay, now I can do the same Ravages of War plan again. But I won't be able to use my Urza's Saga. It's kind of interesting. Yeah, pretty interesting. I feel like it's just too good. This costs 3. Yeah, I feel like I just have to Ravages here. I feel like they just can't. They're not going to be able to beat that. Land. Pump this thing up. Yeah, because I get to attack. Yeah, there we go. Ravages, Primeval Titan. That is a combo. Okay, here we are for the last round. We're 2-0. Let's see if we can keep the wins coming. This hand looks fine. Got some options on what to play next turn. I think it might just be Sylvan Library, though. Sylvan Library plus Hierarch. And then I can do the same thing where you want to play the Library first, then the Courser. If I play the Power Stone, it's not really ramping me into anything at the moment, so... If they have a discard spell, they're going to want to take the Sylvan Library. Okay, they do have it. So that's not, I mean, it's Power Stone or Library. It's a pretty easy choice. When you have discard, you need to take out the card that gives card advantage. So that was actually really good for them. So we might be playing a grindier matchup, so because of that, I'll just play out the Power Stone. Basically, I don't want to let them remove my Courser before I can get value from it. I want to play it and then try to get a land off the top of my library. Then if they have the removal spell, then that's fine. I can't do anything about that. Okay, this is a reason to not do that if they have another discard spell. So they are definitely discard heavy. And now we will just... We have all the mana we need. It's just like... Can we draw into the action? And they can actually transform their Tibalt. Or sorry, their I mean, they can transform their Valki into Courser, which is going to be pretty good. So my opponent has 6 cards in hands. I have 0. So it's really going to come down to what can I draw into. And yeah, this might be one of our weaker matchups. A control deck. I'm going to have to sideboard into just put more action into my deck and take out some of like the mana. Because yeah, when they have cards that can answer your action cards one by one, that just becomes a problem. And you just end up in situations like this where you have all mana and you can't do anything, and then the control decks, they tend to win the late games. But it looks like my opponent might be playing Reanimator or a combo deck of some sort. I'll keep attacking, trading 2 for 2. Seems fair enough. They can transform Valki so that I can't block anyways. Okay, so yeah, they've got... It looks like they're blue-black with a green splash. I wonder what they're splashing. Maybe a Planeswalker like Grist. I'm surprised that they did that. Well, I guess the +1 doesn't do much, so let's see. It doesn't really matter which one I sacrifice. This is kind of... So yeah, they're just playing the Liliana as a removal spell. Because they can't block here. That's not terrible, but I mean, they're up a ton of cards, like they have been the whole time. And they can transform Valky and get even more card advantage, so all they really need is like one counterspell in their hand to stop. Like, let's say I draw Primeval Titan or Woodfall Primus. If they can just answer that with a counterspell, then they're going to have so many free turns to just get value. Okay, yeah, so they're just playing like a blue-black Planeswalker deck, maybe splashing 1 or 2 green Planeswalkers. So, I mean, I can draw Ulamog here. But yeah, I only have like 1 or 2 turns. I haven't seen too much of their interaction yet, just the duress. It would be useful to learn what sort of counter spells they have. Okay, yeah, lots of Planeswalkers. Okay, there's a removal spell. And a tropical island. So yeah, they might even have like Oko or some other green cards. Okay, I'm not sure if... I mean, I can still resolve Ulamog here if I draw it. Free Speaker. I think I'm pretty much drawing dead at this point, but I'm just going to keep playing. Just so I can see some more cards. And I'm not sure if my opponent realizes that they can use the X ability on Valky. A lot of the times it just doesn't come up, but could they have Pack Rat? Yeah, I'm not sure if they're like reanimating. They might be. Okay, yeah, see, there's the Ashen Rider. Now I know that they're playing Reanimator. Or, yeah, this is like a standard control Reanimator deck. They probably have like Reanimate in their deck, or maybe Animate Dead. This is the type of deck that probably wouldn't play Exhume, or it's not like all in on Reanimator. That's just like one really powerful thing that they can do. All right, now I'll concede. So their deck definitely is good with Ancestral Recall and some good Planeswalkers, but I still like our deck too, but let's see what we can do. I have Relic, but like I said, they're not all in on Reanimator, so this card is just going to have a minor effect. Bowunder is good. Ogla, it's like okay. It's not amazing. So the type of cards that you don't want in this matchup, you just don't want too much mana. So even stuff like Fast Bond can kind of be a dead card, because if they break up my combo, then the Fast Bond's not going to be that good. Like if I play Fast Bond and play Courser, and then they just remove Courser, which they have a lot of ways to do, then the Fast Bond is just not going to get me the card advantage. So that, I think that's going to be the first cut. And I'll put in the Relic. Not sure if I want Kogla. I don't think I do. Bowunder just has to be good. But I don't want to take out... So I want to take out like a piece of mana. Basically, you saw how that game stalled out and I have a ton of mana and I just don't have enough action. That happens really often, so I need to take out a land or maybe a 1-drop. If I see that they have a bunch of sweepers, then I might actually board out a lot of the 1-drops and put back in the Fast Bond, put in more lands. Yeah, it's kind of tough to deal with these. Okay, this is another hand like we've seen before. It's not even close to a keep. But this one looks fine, and we'll just put the plains back. This hand is good against a removal heavy hand. It's not explosive, but if they have a bunch of removal, then it's not going to work that well with what I'm doing here. I don't think I want to use the Saga yet. Saga's going to be good this game because I have Power Stone to combo with it. Okay, so they've left up 2 mana, so I can't really use this Hex Drinker. That's just going to be too risky, I think. They might just have an instant speed removal that makes me waste my mana, so if I use Saga now, then next turn I have to create a creature with it. No, I don't think I want to do that. I think there's a pretty good chance I'll use Acidic Slime next turn. It might be good to just take out one of their lands. So now, if they have removal now, they're going to use it. Yeah, so they had the Power Word Kill. I saw that card in the previous game. Let's see if they have a 3-mana Planeswalker or something. Okay, Valky. It's not amazing. They take the Acidic Slime. And they do have a land for the turn. So that seems fine. Okay, that was a good draw. Yeah, that was a really good draw. These are all the cards that we want in this matchup. We just need to get card advantage, basically. Urza Saga's really good. Sylvan Library. Cards like Nissa can be better than like Llanowar Elves. Just because if they kill the Nissa, it's fine. I've already gotten the land. But let's see if they're able to do anything powerful. If they can get a Planeswalker down, I don't have much pressure at the moment. So I'm definitely not feeling great, but I have 4, 6, I have 7 mana next turn, and I can either make a construct. Okay, I'm at 17 life, so I have some life to use. Whoops. Okay, so I'll pay once. And my opponent has a bunch of mana up. But I'm not really sure if... I'm not going to play around a counterspell. Okay, Mana Drain is a pretty bad one. Yeah, if I knew they had Mana Drain specifically, I probably would not have played the Oracle, but if it was just going to be Remand or Counterspell, then that I was going to be fine with it. So yeah, this is definitely not looking great. Okay, there's Garruk. We'll see if they have another good follow-up. I do have the Saga. And there's Liliana. Okay, so not the worst thing that could happen, but interesting. And they just go straight to the mill. Okay, so maybe they have a reanimation spell in hand. Otherwise, I'm not sure if they would do that -2 right there. Okay. So I get to do Sylvan Library before the Saga. Okay, I'm at 13. My life total is still not really in trouble, but I get to shuffle here. Pay for life to keep. Put on top. Now this, I have to, oh, okay, I'm shuffling. I forgot about that. Yeah, that was a mistake. I'm going to use this. I really want a land, actually, this turn. And I could get, I feel like getting the relic is just going to be too important here. So now I get to attack. And I think Garruk is the one I want to attack. I feel like I'm in an okay position here. Pilgrim on top, okay. I'm not going to play out the Hierarch. It'll just get eaten by Liliana. Plus, I want to leave up Relic. I do think there's a decent chance my opponent has Reanimation spell in hand. I'm looking pretty good here, even though the mana drain was kind of pretty great. So I'm just going to keep holding on to the Relic. I don't need to... I'm not in a hurry to get a card here or anything. Four, five, six, seven. So I cannot cast Woodfall Primus. I'm not too worried. I'm kind of like spewing 1 damage here, or sorry, 2 damage. I'm attacking both at Liliana. I don't want to let him like chump and then get it back from the graveyard with Liliana. I'm not sure if that's really... This attack might be not correct. Okay, this is kind of interesting. I think I'm just going to keep the Avacyn's Pilgrim in hand, just in case he has Liliana of the Veil to plus. I feel like pretty far ahead right now. I don't think I need another 1/1 in play. There's Scarab God. Okay, so yeah, Relic is going to be good against that. But yeah, I don't really have any attacks now. Actually, no, I still have an attack because of my Noble Hierarch. And my Ignoble Hierarch will be pretty good too, actually. Okay, let's see what happens here. I think I need that. Okay, so I just get to attack here. I'll destroy... I think it's going to matter that much. And just going to keep Relic of Progenitus up for the rest of the game so they can't use Scarab God. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to lose to at this point. I might need to play around something. So my opponent just has the one card in hand. I think I'm going to use Garruk here. I think the one thing that could make this game go longer is maybe a Damnation. Okay, they're going to do this. And then I suppose, okay, no, yeah, so they've, now I get to kind of just use the relic and I don't have to pop it yet. I can just keep my options open. So that's kind of a problem for my opponent. We're gonna go to 2. Now, I'm not sure if I need to cast Primeval Titan. I don't think I should. I'll cast this, though. I can chump block with it. This way I'm doing good against Damnation here. Okay, nice. So the relic was pretty good that game. We saw the mana drain and the same planes, just more planeswalkers. So yeah, Liliana of the Last Hope. That's another one that's really good against 1-drops. So I might want to take out one more 1-drop. I'm just going to compromise, take out one 1-drop, put in 1 forest, and I still don't think I want the fast bond. It is really good if I get the combo, but I like this. Okay, this hand has no action. This is actually, like, pretty tough. And maybe I'm supposed to mulligan. My opponent has mulligan to 6. This is really a tough spot, actually, but I'm going to keep. Just need to draw some action in this game. Yeah, I don't know. This could be a bad keep. I could maybe just be supposed to mulligan until I hit, like, Sylvan Library. I'll lead with the Pilgrim so I can cast my Power Stone instead of Tree Speaker, which good chance Tree Speaker just gets killed if I play it. Okay, there's Valky. Now I might lose one of my creatures. But I will get to put the Power Stone down. I drew Garruk, so that's a really good start. I just need to draw. There's probably about 10 action cards in my deck like that. I just need to keep drawing those, and I should be okay. My opponent is not sure which creature to choose. These are fairly similar creatures, to be fair. I think it might be better to take the Tree Speaker, and then they can transform it, and they can even level it up. They did take the Tree Speaker. Okay, I drew the plains. I was wondering if I would draw that. So now I'm just going to use the Flooded Strand, even though I would like to wait because I have cards like Tireless Tracker and cards like Sylvan Library. But I just want to avoid drawing the Temple Garden, and then this land becomes dead. So I think that's kind of close, but that's how I wanted to play it. Okay, they do not have double black. Wow, they just misclicked their Valky. That is a big mistake. Oh yeah, I feel kind of bad for the opponent on that one. Okay, now can I Garruk? Play a forest. Yeah, I can play Garruk and Circle of Dreams Druid. I'm not sure if that's really what I want to do. Kind of want to get a 3/3 into play, so I'll just do that. if I get a 3/3, this is going to make some of their planeswalkers slightly worse. Now I still have a bunch of mana. Next turn I have 5, 6. I have access to 7, 8, 9 mana if I really need it next turn. So yeah, putting this 2/1 into play is not going to do a ton. Okay, now they've got the Tree Speaker working correctly. And now I guess they're going to level it up. Yeah, that's wow. They just misclicked it last turn. So that was huge for me. And they missed land drop. So yeah, they really needed the mana there. Okay. Pretty interesting situation here. I think I'm just going to keep pressuring the board. My opponent, I'm going to just play straight into a Wrath of God. My opponent has this Tree Speaker that makes 2 mana, so, and I know they missed 1 land drop last turn, so they're not exactly going to want to lose their mana producing creature. And so yeah, I'm kind of all in here on these creatures, and a sweeper will be good, but I have not seen one, but I have seen like 4 different planeswalkers, so I just want to swarm the board. And now I'll start plussing the Garruk, I think. Start going up to that overrun. And Elder Gargaroth. Okay, that's actually really good against me, and we will see if I can draw into any of my action. Nissa is okay. I mean, it's a start. I do need to get 2 more lands. I'm not going to attack. But yeah, I'm definitely falling behind here. The Gargaroth. Yeah, this is really tough. Yeah, I really need to draw into like Ulamog now. This is kind of the problem I foresaw happening with this hand. Okay, this is a pretty tough situation. I think this is what I want to do. Now that I'm forcing them to have 2 pieces of removal, and I'll get to keep my Nissa, which is my best creature. Because if I can eventually flip that, I can start getting some card advantage. But yeah, I don't love this situation. But these mana creatures, they're actually just not doing very much for me. I already have 7 total lands and a Worn Power Stone and a Garruk, so I'm already kind of infinite on mana. So let's see if they have anything, or if they're just going to let this trade happen. I think I had to block. I'm not going to chump block. I need to... Yeah, these creatures are not that valuable to me, so I'm happy trading them off, and yeah, I'm not going to play around them having 2 removal spells. Okay, cool. I'm happy to make that trade, even though the Gargaroth was really good for them. And I am still in really big trouble if they have, yeah, Liliana to get back the Gargaroth. Yeah, I need to draw something. Channel. Channel. This is another card I could have taken out of my deck. I kind of didn't think about that one. It's another one that ends up being a little bit bad in these matchups. So now I need to chump block. Yeah, I think I'm pretty far away from the overrun, so I'll just make a 3/3. Yeah, now I'm in like situation of like Ulamog, where I'm just gonna be dead. Yeah, probably should have just mulliganed knowing the matchup. I kept 7 mana producing cards in my hand, just... Then I ended up drawing a Garruk, some lands, channel, and Nissa. And yeah, that's just not going to do much. I think now I just have to let the Garruk die. Beast token. Block it, I guess. Take the trade. Yeah, I think Ugin could be a good draw. I can exile everything with Ugin. Okay, now that Nissa is gone, there goes another Thoughtseize and Shieldred. So you can bring back Shieldred. Yeah, I'm kind of... This is probably the turn. Ravages, yeah. Yeah, this might... Ravages could have been another card to take out. Just because my opponent has a lot of Planeswalkers as well, so they're kind of getting on the board just as good as I am. So Ravages you really want when you're like getting on board better than your opponent. So I might still have an out. Might still be able to draw Ugin, or probably Ulamog is not going to work. I'm at 6, so I think I would be dead on board. Okay, Liliana. Yeah, Ugin is still good here. Discard channel 5. Yeah, Ulamog doesn't even win me the game, so I don't need the channel. Keep the Ravages of War. But yeah, so I basically have one turn to draw Ugin. All right, well, good game to the opponent, and thank you for watching the first video. I'll have some more coming out soon.